Okay, now our guest co-host for today is no stranger when it comes to hosting shows, because you will find her online hosting her own podcast called Dream Girl. A fantastic podcast, and I'm very honored to speak to this person. Dr. Sheen Gurrib, how are you? It's so nice to speak to you and see you finally, because I do watch your podcast.
Oh, you do?
I do, yes.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. Super excited to speak to all of you.
Brilliant. So let's get right into it, obviously, because it's short form here. You're used to long form, so yeah, let's get right into it. Now, I'm very happy where I am, but if I wanted to change careers, how could I pivot and change careers in the speed and the way that you did it?
I like that you caveated it with, I'm very happy where I am today. But I do think that if you're happy, then there's no need for change. I think we all seem to believe that we need to be chasing something, but that's not how it should be. But if you do feel like you're stuck or you're not fulfilled or you think there's so much more to life than what you're doing now, the best way is to do a little bit of self-introspection. And that's what I always did, was realizing what is not working for me, what do I not like, why do I feel stuck, and what am I looking for? Because a lot of times we think, oh, I just want to quit my job, quit the corporate world and run into entrepreneurship. But that's not just it, right? Sometimes it's just that you might just want a promotion, you might just want better work-life balance, and that could be achieved where you are. So it's really identifying what are you looking for, what would fulfill you, and therefore then break it down into actions and just get it done.
I like the way you're talking about it, Dr. Sheen, because it's like what you want, what
Yes.
you are comfortable with, what satisfies you. But you'll find a lot of people, and this might be an old-fashioned way of thinking, where you don't want to jump around too much. If they see on your CV that you jump around too much, it's going to be difficult for you to find work. And then there's you, who quit 3 jobs in 2 years. So tell us about that experience, and also, is that in the past the whole don't change jobs too often?
Honestly, the number of times I heard this, especially when I was trying to quit the first time, they said, oh no, they'll think you got fired.
At least do 2 years, at least do 5 years.
Yes,
there's always a deadline.
At least do 2 years. And I did face the same questions. And it's a running joke in my family because my dad retired after working 33 years at the same place. And in 2 years, I quit 3 times. So, but for me, it became very apparent very early on that if I'm not optimizing for happiness, what am I doing? And the first job, I didn't like the job at all. Second one, work-life balance was terrible. Third time, the manager was terrible. So it's always been a question of, I will not waste my time because we spend the majority of our life working, right?
Yeah. Do you know what?
Blaine does.
No, because the thing is, you've brought up something quite interesting now.
Please.
Because we've now got that thing, and now I'm thinking, is it a thing of the generation? Is it a thing of our location? Because we're in a fast-paced moving city,
We
right?
are.
And it encourages growth, and it encourages you to do and try new things.
Yes.
So is it naturally for us to just want more because of where we are?
Honestly, very good point. So I also teach at the moment at university, and I see how this new generation approaches work with a very different mindset than we did. And I think we're still based on what our parents were kind of like growing up with, where we think, oh, we need stability. But the new generation thinks more, I need to optimize for my mental health. I need to be happy. What am I doing? How is it purposeful what I'm doing? So I think there's an element of that, and definitely being in Dubai really helps. It broadens your horizons in terms of what is possible. And I think even me, my whole life, I come from an island, okay? I grew up in Mauritius, didn't know much other than the classic jobs, and then just went into corporate life thinking, this is it, this is where I want to be. And then you come to Dubai and you're like, oh wow, everyone else is doing everything but a normal job. And then you think, okay, there's so much more to life, there's so much more you could do. And then you start discovering your skills, what are you good at, and what do you enjoy doing? And then suddenly you realize that, oh wow, I could do something that I enjoyed as a job. I don't need to suffer for the rest of my life. So definitely I think Dubai played a big role in that.
Dr. Sheen, I really appreciated what you said earlier on about how the generation now, they're really a bit more, would you say, more woke about focusing more on themselves, prioritizing what's important for them, right? But also, do you think that the metric for success has changed over time? Like before, obviously, the metric for success was about how many cars you owned in the garage or maybe how big your house is. But do you think the metric for success for everybody in general, not just this generation, has changed over time?
I think absolutely. I think we've started this. I think COVID was the kind of starting point for all of us to realize once we were stuck at home that maybe we were chasing things and being part of races that we never really wanted to be a part of. And then after that came the whole wave of let's prioritize happiness, let's prioritize wellness. And now the metrics for success, which I hear all the time with the guests, is if you ask them how do they define success, it's freedom of my time. Everyone wants freedom of their time. They don't want to have a boss who's telling them, come at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Right?
Agreed.
And I think that's where now we all really want to have ownership of our time. We want to be able to be doing things that we feel fulfilled. And again, now, as you said, the new generation, they don't really see money or like flashy cars as a thing. What they want to see is, oh, I can travel, I prioritize my mental health. And this is what they see as success. Rather than collecting money. Not that they don't like money, of course, but I think it's a good change that happened, because what is the point of chasing materialistic things if it doesn't really fulfill you or bring you any closer to you living your best life, as they would say.
Now, when it comes to work life in general, obviously not everyone is equal. Some people have certain advantages, other people have things that maybe hold them back.
Yeah.
But I've seen you talk about something called tapping into your unfair advantages. Can you tell us a little bit about that concept?
Oh yes, of course. So actually, one of my friends wrote that book called Unfair Advantages, and it's a best-selling book. And I think the reason the podcast started actually was because of that. I was at university and I realized that I was surrounded by really cool people. One of my friends dropped out of uni to become an astronaut, and now she's in space currently.
Wow. She didn't need a degree? She didn't need a degree?
No, apparently not. And then I was hearing from her how this whole journey happened, and I thought, wow, if me, when I was younger, I knew that all of these different careers are possible, it would have changed the direction I took in life. And that's when the idea started with, okay, let me bring all these conversations, let's create a platform for it. And that's what I mean by unfair advantages. I went to Oxford and Cambridge. I was surrounded by really cool people. I had the opportunity of having dinner with Stephen Hawking, and I thought, I am here and I have all of this around me. How do I now make use of this of some sort? And I think a lot of times we've been taught to feel bad about the advantages that we have in life, whether they are privileges, whether it is, where do you come from, who do you know, how much money you have. But all of these are unfair advantages. Everyone has some sort of unfair advantage in your life. So just identify which one it is and make use of it.
Absolutely. Check your privilege and then use it to your benefit.
Absolutely.
Dr. Sheen, we're so excited that you're going to be with us for the rest of the episode. We're going to get some more people to join us on the sofa in just a little bit. All right, but for now, next up, we are going to be speaking to the creator of the Breaking Cinderella program, designed to help six-figure entrepreneurs scale up their businesses and double their revenue within 12 months. Lane is going to be very interested in this. We're going to see you in a second.